Ito po yung interview mga kababayan ni Miss Karen Davila dito po sa isang veteranong abogado na si Attorney Lorna Kapunan. At dito nga sinasabi mga kababayan na ito daw pong VP Sara Camp napakahina daw mga kababayan pagdating sa katotohanan. 'Di ba? Talagang napakahina daw ng depensa pagdating sa katotohanan. So ito, pakinggan po natin.
Our discussion on the impeachment case of Vice President Sara Duterte. Joining us today is Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Attorney Kapunan, good morning to you.
Pakinggan nyo yun daw kampo ni Sara Duterte, it means yung mga abogado ni Sara Duterte, napakahina ng depensa pagdating po sa katotohanan.
Good morning, Karen, to you and to your many viewers and listeners. Magandang
All right. What would you like to explain to the public regarding, I guess, perceptions or wrong information on the impeachment?
Yan.
Well, first of all, what's different with this year's impeachment and the previous impeachment of Chief Justice Corona and Mercedita Gutierrez is the role of social media. And because of that, the narratives have distorted facts, have distorted evidence, have distorted the truth. And as we know, social media is a function of resources. And at the moment, the noise, the loud noise is from the of the Vice President. Makes you wonder who is funding all of this loud noise, which quiets the narrative on what's really happening in the House in terms of evidence, in terms of public documents, which really have the presumption of regularity.
Tama.
Even trolls are even saying, questioning now, because we lawyers say if you're weak on the facts, focus on the person. If you're weak on the person, focus on the judges. And that seems to be in the strategy. They're weak on the facts, so now they're focusing on the integrity of the House members, spreading the narrative that they were forced to vote or coerced to vote because they would be denied.
Yan yung ginagawa mga kababayan ng kampo ni Sara Duterte. Mahina sila pagdating po sa katotohanan. Ano ginagawa nila? Tinitingnan nila yung pagkatao ng mga kongresista at sinasabi nila na kaya lang naman bumoto ng yes yan kasi nga kurap at naalok yan ng mali-maletang pera. Diba yan yung senaryo na ipinapakalat nila? Yan yung kwentong barbero na ipinamamalita po nila sa taong bayan. Pero kung titingnan nyo, ang titingnan naman talaga dyan pagdating ng trial, pagka nagkaroon na ng trial, yung tibay ng ebidensya. Hindi po yung pagkatao ng mga prosecutor at mga senators. 'Di ba? Alam na nga natin na itong si Robin Padilla talagang boboto ng acquittal yan. Pero tatamaan po talaga yan sa taong bayan. Pero ang kampo ni Sara Duterte, saglip na maghanda sila ng matibay na counter evidence, po dun sa mga ipipresentang ebidensya ng prosecutor, ng mga tatayong kongresista at ng mga tatayong private lawyer, ang ginagawa nila mga kababayan, tinitira nila ng ad hominem yung mga kongresista na nagtrabaho para suriin kung may probable cause ba o wala etong mga reklamo laban po kay Sara Duterte. Yan ba yung may 16 na abogado? Di po ba? Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
District funds or whatever compensation there is in terms of their own district. So there is distortion of narrative.
But trolling is not new. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Trolling started during 2015. During the campaign season, and when former President Duterte won, farm trolling became a business, right? And to a degree, social media
trolling
also also played a big role in changing the narrative of why President Marcos Jr. won. So the social media is not new. I mean, trolling exists regardless of who is in power in the last 10 years, I would say. So there are also, some would say, pink trolls, there are red trolls, and there are Duterte trolls. So each and every camp has some form of social media army.
That's correct, Karen.
Tama.
But what's different as well now, and if I may add, is an awakening of the public. Whether for or against the Vice President, for or against the House, for or against an impeachment, there is a genuine, authentic awakening of the public. And therefore, the civic duty of media, whether it be mainstream media or social media or trolls, is an accountability to the public. Because you cannot fully...
Ito talaga yung dapat din maunawaan ng mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Alam nyo mga kababayan, sa pagitan po kasi namin, may mga digmaan din talagang nagaganap. Alam ko namang alam nyo yan. 'Di ba kung titingnan nyo, magbabato ng mali naratibo, yung kampo ng mga Duterte, syempre naandi dito kami mga kababayan, para ibalik sa kanila yon. Di po ba? Para ibalik ng katotohanan yung mali po nilang impormasyon na sinasabi laban po sa gobyerno. Kasi isipin nyo na lang mga kababayan paano kaya kung wala yung mga vlogger na sumusuporta sa gobyerno? Di kinain na ng buong buo ang gobyerno mga kababayan ng mga vlogger na nagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon laban po sa ating pamahalaan. Kaya nga kung tutusin dapat makita rin ng taong bayan na talagang hindi lang sa politika yung digmaan Yung digmaan talaga mga kababayan na andito rin talaga sa social media kasi sobrang dami talaga nilang troll farm na kung mapapansin po ninyo talaga magugulat na lang kayo. Di po ba? Lalo na yung mga vlogger nila. Kahit mali yung impormasyon, iisa lang yung naratibo na ibinabato nila. Di ba? Ganun po katindi mga kababayan ng mga Duterte. Kaya nga sinasabi dito, kung matatandaan nyo, noong 2016 talagang may troll farm. Eto mga Duterte. At yan naman po mga kababayan ay nailathala na sa iba't ibang pahayagan. Mayroon silang inaalagaan at pinuponduhan na troll farm. Diba? Kaya nga kung makikita nyo parang 1 billion ata yung ginastos dyan na mga Duterte. Pakitama na lamang po ko kung ako po ay mali or nasa 10 million. Diba? Anyway, yung mga nakabasa dyan, pwede nyo i-comment dito. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
110 million people all the time. Maybe sometime, some people all the time, but not all people all the time. And that's where we in the legal circles speak up. That's where you have a program like this, Karen, to ferret out the truth. And therefore, the corresponding duty is there. Because it's a constitutional right. It's a constitutional right to be informed
Tama.
and to speak. They will say, freedom of speech yan, freedom of association, freedom of expression. But the freedom, your freedoms, are also guided by the Constitution,
Tama.
which says that they cannot trample on the truth, they cannot trample on other people's rights. And therefore, the duty, even if there were troll armies before, I guess the burden now is for seekers of truth to step up and be counted.
And I think personally, after seeing this for 10 years, it's high time that there should be more regulation. When you think of it on our social media platforms, at the end of the day, government has allowed this to flourish. Other countries have already, they've already forged strict laws not to allow troll farms, not to allow fake accounts. But you have politicians actually milking this dry for their own benefit.
That is so true. No? The problem with us is when we see a problem, we create laws. Laws
Tama.
are not the problem. All the laws are there. We have the cybercrime law. We have the electronic media law. We have all cyberbullying law. We have safe space law. There are many laws there. The problem again is implementation. The problem is political will. In the separation of powers, that belongs to the executive branch, and the ultimate arbiter is really the Supreme Court. Some people confuse that. Instead of going through the process, for instance, the defense team, instead of going through the process in the House, they go straight to the Supreme Court. And therefore, we have a question here of execution. Why is there a failure of execution? First, it's a function of resources.
Tama.
If you study the budget, how much is there for the Department of Justice? How much budget is there for the NBI, which is in charge of bullying and cyber crimes? And I'm not only talking about the impeachment. I'm talking about exploitation of women and children. I'm talking
Yeah, okay.
about TAM. I'm talking about all of these things.
Pero balikan natin ang impeachment, no,
Yes.
Attorney Kapunan. So, it is the first time that we've had proceedings using the House Justice Committee. It is the first. Can you explain it in the clearest, most layman way from the House Committee to the Senate?
Okay. Starting with initiation. Remember, when you talk about impeachment, you talk about two stages. You talk about initiation, and then a second stage where you talk about trial. Initiation of impeachment case belongs exclusively to the House. The trial of impeachment case belongs exclusively to the Senate. They
Senate.
cannot cross. They cannot cross. The House cannot be a trial court. And so it's very clear from the way the House Committee on Justice have acted that Chairman Luistro, who is also a lawyer, has been quick to say bawal ang cross-examination, bawal ang probing, because it is only the function is clarificatory.
Tama.
The way a preliminary investigation would work, which is to clarify, not to add to the evidence, but to clarify what has been submitted in terms of testimony and in terms of documents. So tapos na yan, three modes yan, either initiated by a citizen with the endorsement of a member of Congress. That's the first mode. The second mode is a congressman or House of Representatives member himself. And the third is what happened last year, was directly 1/3. Kanya hindi yan dumaan. That's why it did not pass the Committee on Justice. And that's why the Supreme Court ruled in the Duterte case that it should have gone through the Committee on Justice, not appreciating that the House last year adopted the direct mode of 1/3 or more than 1/3 vote. Now on Monday, today the
Eto, pakinggan nyo to
House Committee on Justice will have to go to the process of approving the committee report and approving the articles of incorporation. So committee level, it still is at the committee level. There are 53 who voted for finding of probable cause. Again, trolls armies were at work overtime at work over the weekend, saying many have withdrawn their support for the committee report. Those again,
di ba? Kita nyo, nung magkakaroon kasi ng botohan, di ba, double time? double time mga kababayan yung troll farm ni Sara Duterte para ipakalat na ganito ganyan. Kapag bumoto ka ng impeachment, sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte, pag ikaw ay kongresista, nag-yes ka, tatamaan ka sa Iglesia ni Cristo. Diba? Ibig sabihin, hindi ka i-endorso, blacklisted ka. Pati yung kaapu-apuhan mo, ika nga. sa 4 na henerasyon. Yan yung sinasabi mga kababayan. Double time sila na gano'n ang gano'n yung senaryo na ipinapakalat nila. At kahit nga si Banat Bay mga kababayan, di ba, gano'n din yung pananakot sa mga kongresista. Ngayon, kung matatandaan nyo, hindi umubra yung kanilang ipinapakalat na yan nung nagbotohan patungkol po doon sa probable cause. At ngayon, kung sakali makakuha ng sapat na boto ang Kamara para ma-impeach etong si Sara Duterte, ibig sabihin, kahit gaano pa kalaki ang troll farm ni Sara Duterte ng mga Duterte, hindi pa rin talaga umuubra pagdating po sa katotohanan at pagpapanagot. Ganun lang kasimple. Di ba kahit paspasan, nagmamadali, yung mga troll ni Sara Duterte na talagang takutin yung mga kongresista, kapag ka nakakuha po taong na 1/3 na boto, isa lang ibig sabihin yan, hindi nagpadala yung mga kongresista sa pananakot ng mga troll farm nitong si Sara Duterte. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Again, are the troll armies. If it passes the Committee on Justice, Karen, it will now be given to the plenary where it is calendared and where it will be argued. Both the committee report will be subject to clarificatory questions from the House plenary. The articles of impeachment will be studied. And if it gets approved by 1/3 vote, and 1/3 vote is 106, 106 because there appears to be 308 members of the House. If it is approved, it is immediately transmitted to the Senate.
Tama.
And the Senate President has said he will accept it.
And
the very
convene.
next day, he will create a Senate impeachment court. What does that mean? That means that the senators will now use the hat of impeachment judges, which is separate from their function as legislators. That's why they take a separate oath. No? When you take your oath of office as a public official, you have a specific oath. The same oath that the Vice President took, no? Loyal to the Constitution. But dito, in the oath, it is important to note, Karen, that in the oath of the Senate judges, they take an oath of impartial justice. And the
Tama.
Senate rules also mentions political neutrality. So the senator judges will be judged by that very high
Dapat maintindihan mo to, Senator Robin Padilla, Senator Amy Marcos at yung iba pa.
standard.
Okay, Attorney, I want to ask you quickly. So the camp of the Vice President has accused double standard, an alleged double standard by the House Justice Committee in its proceedings compared to that when they heard President Marcos Jr.'s complaint, and also the no ultimate facts. Do you agree first that there were no ultimate facts in the allegations?
Let us go first to double standard, no? Because we lawyers only use one standard, no? What is compliant with the law and the procedures.
Tama.
And I have read the impeachment complaint against the president. There were no ultimate facts, just opinion. In fact, they were not based on authentic, because when the rules on impeachment of the House requires authentic records and personal knowledge.
Di ba yung ginamit lang naman. Eto mga kababayan, isama na rin natin na kung titingnan nyo, ikinukumpara kasi nila yung impeachment proceedings kay Sara Duterte at saka po kay PBBM. Yung kay PBBM, mas maganda yung maliwanagan yung mga kababayan Pilipino po natin na kaya po nabasura yon. Kasi nga, wala talaga po dun mga kababayang masasabing solidong aligasyon eh. 'Di ba? Solidong ebidensya para pagtibayin yung aligasyon. Kasi kung titingnan nyo, yung mga ibinabato kasi po kay PBBM at yung mga ginamit din na posibleng ebidensya mga kababayan ay galing lang din po sa media. Hindi po talaga katulad nung kay Sara Duterte na talagang lantaran niyang sinabi. Napanood at nasaksihan na mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Yung kay PBBM naman po mga kababayan, bukod sa galing na nga dun sa mga article, wala pong walang sapat na batayan o basihan para ma-impeach po ang presidente dahil lang doon sa sinasabi na siya po ay kailangan magpates, siya po ay gumagamit ng ipinagbabawal na bato. Paano natin patutunayan na ang presidente ay gumagamit ng ipinagbabawal na bato kung yun ngang video na ginamit laban sa kanya ay artificial intelligence? Di po ba? So doon pa lang, dapat nang mabasura yung reklamong isinasampa laban po sa presidente. Unlike naman dito kay Sara mga kababayan na talagang kinumpirma ng AMLAC na may bilyones po talaga sa bank account.
The complaints against the president, the impeachment, failed in both. There was no witness with personal knowledge.
Tama.
And there were no authentic records attached. For instance, his bias in spending the budget. There was no testimony or document. He's being a drug addict. There was no doctor's report. All of them are not based, and in fact, they got from media, and even the media sources,
Diba?
unlike the media sources in the House, were not authenticated by anyone. So,
So what makes this different?
What makes the House? Well, what makes the third and fourth impeachment complaint, which survived? Remember, the first and second did not pass the 1-year ban rule. No, it was filed even before the 1-year ban lapsed. No? What makes this different is it's very evident. The ultimate facts are there. The defense is saying there is no evidence, but there is a difference between ultimate facts and evidentiary facts. And it is, in
Tama.
fact, it is the defense team that should know the difference, because now they're saying we will present our evidence. We will not say anything in the House because we have evidence. That means they know the difference between ultimate facts and evidentiary facts. And the ultimate facts are clearly expressed in both Sabario complaint and the other complaint. No? So not only are there ultimate facts based on personal
Sabi dito, magaling daw kumalikot ng laptop si Sara. Ayon kay Zulaika Lopez. Laptop ba talaga yung kinakalikot?
knowledge, which is the first standard, there are authentic records and authenticated records from government agencies. That is the difference between the BBM complaint and the VP Sara impeachment complaint.
Among the accusations presented in the House Justice Committee, allegations from confidential funds to former Senator Trillanes's accusations of a joint bank account, non-declaration of these accounts to the SALN, etc., video threatening the life of the president. What for you
Yan, eto, pakinggan nyo to. Napakaganda ng sagot dito ni Atty. Lorna Kapunan.
is the strongest and most impeachable of all?
I think if I were to summarize the 6 or 7 impeachment grounds stated in the impeachment complaints, I would collapse them into four. The issue on confidential funds, the issue on the SALNs, the issue on bribery, and the issue on assassination and grave threats.
Oh.
The two most glaring and the two most undeniable and incontrovertible ground would be the SALNs, because these were produced by the Anti-Money Laundering Council based on bank reports. So these are not opinions. These are bank records, and figures don't lie, records don't lie, and they are authenticated through the years. The reason I'm saying although confidential funds is also strong, they could produce, they can wiggle themselves out of it. First, they will define what is confidential funds. No? It is the nature of the beast. The name Mary Grace Piato is the nature of the beast. Aliases are allowed. They will argue that. They will say that these funds were really spent. Or they would produce
So
it.
aliases are allowed.
Yes, aliases are allowed for confidential funds. But there is a difference between confidential funds for security. No? Kasi yung
Dahil tsaka hindi rin kasi may paliwanag mga kababayan kung saan din nila yung confidential funds. Kahit pa sabihin na, sige, ina-allowed natin yung mga Mary Grace Piatos, yung mga alias, ang problema nasan yung blue book o record na itong si Mary Grace Piatos, ito ay may legit na pangalan na siya talaga ang tumanggap ng pera mga kababayan galing po doon kay Sara Duterte sa kanyang opisina. Di ba ang pagkakaalam ko kapag gagamit ka ng alias, dapat maglalag ka. At nakalagay din doon ang tunay na pangalan mo. At ang isa pa dito mga kababayan, kaya mahihirapan din si Sara Duterte sa usapin ng kanyang SALN kasi hindi po talaga niya maitatanggihan na nagsinungaling siya nang ilagay niya yung 88 million sa kanyang SALN tapos may bilyones pala siya sa kanyang bank account. Doon pa lang hindi na po tugma at nangangahulugan na nagsinungaling siya sa kanyang SALN.
there is a circular of the COA clearly defining what is confidential funds, because the DepEd is not an agency authorized to use confidential funds. It was a concession to the Vice President. But in any event, even if you do use confidential funds, let's say the Office of the Vice President, or concurrently when she was DepEd, you are required, after you get the information, you are required to give it to the appropriate government agency. To
Tama.
implement. If they say it's bullying in schools and they have evidence on who are the bulliers or those who do not follow a zero bullying policy, then they report it to the NBI. They are not the implementing agency. Have there been reports to the NBI? Have there been reports to the National Police on all of this confidential information? So even just, never mind the amounts involved. They will say, maliit lang naman yan, 500 million lang naman yan, and 500 million for the Office of the President, and 112 million for the DepEd. No? They're saying these are small amounts compared to what the congressmen have stolen from the flood control. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the amount. No, if I may add, a recent case, and this is very striking. A recent case just decided February of last year involved imprisonment of 11 years of a public principal who stole 5,000 pesos. So why is 5,000 pesos compared to the 6.7 billion? It establishes the principle if you're in a public office.
Ito na nga lang yung pagbasihan nyo mga kababayan. Kung yun ngang private o public principal nakulong dahil mga kababayan sa pagnanakaw ng 5,000 pesos. Yun pa kayang vice presidente na nagnakaw ng bilyones sa kaban ng bayan ang hindi pa panagutin. Eto, partida, kung titingnan natin, pag normal na mamamayang Pilipino, nagnakaw kahit 5,000, 1,000 at nahuli, automatic pinapakulong agad. Pero kapag ka itong mga ito, mga kababayan, kita nyo kung gaano pa kadaming proseso. Kaya nga dapat po talaga na humarap sa pananagutan itong si Sara Duterte kasi unfair po talaga yan sa mga kababayan Pilipino po natin. Tama rin yung sinasabi ni Atty. Kapunan dito. Kung yung teacher nga, mga kababayan, yung principals nga, nagnakaw ng 5,000 pesos pinakulong. Paano pa kaya ito?
Whether elected or appointed, or even if career. This relates to 28 cement bags lang. And you're convicted for 11 years. That underscores why public funds should be accounted for. And there is a procedure for accounting. Never mind the amount. Even the procedure was not followed. The other one, to your point, the other one that's also very strong is the grave threats and the hiring of an assassin. And I understand it is so strong that NBI itself is now investigating on the possibility of filing sedition charges.
Tama. Isa rin yan sa napakatibay kasi unang-una authenticated na yan ng NBI. Yung video kung paano siya nagbanta sa buhay ng presidente, ng first lady at ng former house speaker, mga kababayan. At ang isa pa dito, kung titingnan nyo, kahit itanggi niya po yan, hindi niya na po maitatanggi yan. Kaya nga ang katuwiran na ginagamit po nila kung conditional threat, mga kababayan. Pero tandaan po natin, threat is a threat. Kahit pa sabihin na conditional threat yan, threat is a threat. At yung ginawa niya, mga kababayan, alam naman natin na kung sakaling nagtagumpay siya, nagsucceed siya, na ipatumba ang presidente, siya po ang makikinabang sa pwesto ng presidente. Kaya nga yun pa lang, kung pagbabasihan po natin, yun ay pagsira na agad sa tiwala na mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Kasi ang presidente, inuluklok po yan ng mamamayang Pilipino.
All right. Now, I think with the last one, the video has been confirmed. It was not edited. It's been a year. The NBI is still, they have leads on a suspect. But what if the defense argues that, and I'm rephrasing this,
Yan.
as the vice president had said, it was hypothetical in nature. Kumbaga, she did not order actively. Right? The reason she had used as if mamatay ako, meaning if I am dead, then you do that. So I want you just to close this.
Kasi 'di ba yan nga yung dahilan ng yan yung dahilan, mga kababayan, ng kampo ni Sara Duterte. Conditional threat. Hyperbole, hypothetical. Di po ba? Kasi nga may kondisyon, mga kababayan, pero tandaan natin. Kung yan ang magiging depensa nila, matatalo lang din sila dyan. Bakit? Paano kung sabihin ng mga ng prosecutor, hindi, nagsabi siya ng no joke, 2 beses. Sa tingin nyo, mga kababayan, napakatibay nun. Kasi nga, paano magiging hyperbole, paano magiging hypothetical, kung mismong yung nagsabi na vice presidente na nagbabanta, at paano magiging conditional threat yan, kung mismong sinabi ng presidente na hindi siya nagbibiro, 2 beses na sinabi yan. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Yes.
What is your response to that?
Well, 2 things. First of all, she did say it in her own press conference, which she videoed herself. If that were not true, let's say that was part of the moment because her chief of staff was being detained in the house.
Ay, pinglak sa mana, may galab shoutout
The very next day, she repeated it. She repeated it the very next day and said, "I have hired an assassin," and he has said yes. The day before, she said, "No joke, no joke." If it were a joke,
diba?
the next day she would have denied that it was a joke. No,
Yeah.
the very next day she said, "That threat? How can you have a threat from the grave? There is no such thing as a threat from the grave. The crime is threat, whether it is there is no such thing as conditional threat." The glaring example here, and we heard the wife of Governor Decamo. The wife is a congressman. She said, "My husband was threatened, and he didn't take it seriously, and now he's dead." And she said it very sadly in the Committee on Justice hearing. It was her husband's birthday. So a threat is a threat.
It's a threat.
There's no such thing as a conditional threat.
Diba?
And I think just to close, to clear it to the viewers, our impeachment processes are actually, even the Constitution and our laws, most of it were patterned after the United States, is a threat to the president. Could you consider that impeachable?
Impeachable talaga
It is
yan.
impeachable. First, you are a public official. Even a private individual. Remember, there was an incident where a private individual
Was arrested.
was arrested simply because uttered wanted a threat against the president. Whether a private or public individual, that is public official, impeachable public officials. That already, because if it does not go into a violation, everything is a violation of the Constitution. But it goes to her fitness. It is a betrayal of public trust. When you even say, and to add to that, to say that you are the designated survivor, to say that there is no number 1 position, there's only a number 2 position, to say that she wanted to cut off the head of the president, to say that she will dig up the grave of the father and throw it into the Philippine Sea, all of this taken together should already convince even the ordinary Juan de la Cruz to say, is she the next president of the Republic? She
Ah,
needs
di
to
ba?
go through a psychiatric investigation. In fact, NBI, in the hearing, the Committee on Justice said she was supposed to. Twice, she did not show up because my psychiatric division. In fact, this was to give her the benefit of the doubt, to see
Kasi alam niyo ba mga kababayan, ito singit lang natin ha, bakit ayaw ni Sara Duterte magpatingin sa psychiatric? Kasi malalaman ng taong bayan na hindi po talaga siya fitted maging presidente. Yun yung dahilan. Kaya ayaw niyang magpatingin mga kababayan sa psychiatric kasi lalabas talagang may sapak siya. Di po ba? Kasi hindi po salitaan ng normal na mamamayang Pilipino na magbabanta ka buhay pa ng presidente. Eh kapag ka sinasabi ng kampo ni Sara Duterte, mga kababayan, nagbibiro lang si BC dyan. Tandaan nyo yung nangyari kay Digong noon ha. Nung may nagbanta sa buhay ni Digong, pinaaresto nila. Yung teacher na lalaki na umiiyak-iyak pa nga. Di ba mga kababayan? At tandaan nyo rin yung ginawa ng hindi maganda ni Duterte dati. Yung nagsabi kay Digong na baliw si Digong. Pinaaresto nila yon. O ngayon mga kababayan, ito yung point natin dito. Kahit pasabihin ng kampo ni Sara Duterte na, na conditional threat yan, tandaan po natin, pagbabanta pa rin yan. At dyan po talaga magagrabihan, dyan po talaga mga kababayan may impeach si Sara Duterte. Bukod pa doon sa bank account record niya ha, dito sa usaping ito, mai-impeach po talaga dyan si Sara kasi nga, maliwanag yung mensahe na sinasabi niya doon sa video. Okay lang sana kung walang no joke eh. Eh ang problema meron doon. 2 beses niya sinabi na hindi siya nagbibiro.
if it was just a burst or really a hyperbole or hypothetical. NBI scheduled 2 psychiatric hearings with her. The
Ah.
first one, she refused to appear. She said she was doing her duties. We don't even know what those duties are. The second is she said, why will appear there? NBI is under the Department of Justice. Department of Justice is under the office of the President. You are
Ah.
biased. So the Vice President does not believe in the institutions. The NBI is biased. The House of Representatives is biased. And now we wait in suspense. If now they will say that the Senate is biased, because remember, their petition to the Supreme Court included, and we don't know why, included the Senate President. So baka sabihin nila, when this case now goes to the Senate, they will say, wait a minute, we included you as respondent in our case in the Supreme Court. This is not ripe for the Senate to proceed on.
I think very quickly, we are running out of time. I'm curious if, let's say this, if they get the votes in the plenary and if she's impeached in the House, are you possibly going to be a part of the prosecution?
I've always said that I'm always a volunteer lawyer. I'm happy to serve. But now that you mention it, after they vote on the impeachment and the articles of impeachment, they will have to choose 11 public prosecutors.
Yeah.
And with the 11 public prosecutors, I assume they will also think of private
Ano
prosecutors.
ba ang rules? I'm curious. Pag sinabing public, pwedeng yun, pwedeng nasa House.
The public prosecutors can only come from the House.
Oo, so 11 yun.
So
Tapos
11, and then
private,
yes. The private can be as many as are willing to volunteer.
I see. And you're willing.
I was willing in the last impeachment hearings last year. I'm willing now. I'm older and wiser and more willing.
And I can
Yan!
sense you're also...
Nako!
Yes.
All right. Because I've known you for so many years. Right?
No, because
Okay.
kasi yung programa mo Karen, pang kalmado yan.
Okay.
You should see me in my intemperate language in other interviews. Pero
Alright.
pagalang-galang ka Karen.
Okay. On that
Ayan, mga kababayan nagpahiwatig na si Atty. Lorna Kapunan. Kahit naman nung nakaraang interview, di ba sinasabi niya, matanda na siya at alam niya na lahat. Mga kababayan, talaga napagdaanan niya na lahat. At kung nung una na impeachment, willing siya maging private prosecutor. Ngayon, willing na willing ulit mga kababayan. Etong si Atty. Lorna Kapunan. So ngayon, pag naging private prosecutor to, asahan nyo na dapat ihanda na ng mga DDS yung kanilang tissue at yung kanilang mga kababayan, yung kanilang wipes, ika nga. Kasi marami po talaga dyan na mag-iiyakan. Kasi mga kababayan, ito, sinabi ni Atty. Lorna Kapunan, willing siya. 'Di ba? Willing siya maging private prosecutor. Kasi sa totoo lang yung 11 ata nakukuhanin na public prosecutor manggagaling talaga yan sa House. Yan yung mga kongresista, mga kababayan. And I think kasama po dyan si Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. And then ngayon, yung mga private prosecutor, yan po yung mga volunteer. Kung gusto po nilang sumali, mga kababayan. So ngayon, itong si Atty. Lorna Kapunan, willing po siyang maging volunteer private prosecutor. dito po sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte. At asahan po natin, kapag ka ito tumayong private prosecutor, may impeach talaga. Itong si Sara Lustay, mga kababayan. No matter what, ika nga, wala nang tanong-tanong. May impeach po talaga itong si Sara Duterte. Ano po? So anyway, kayo mga kababayan, kung kayo po ang tatanungin, ano po ang masasabi ninyo? Hingil po dito sa mga topic na ito na tinalakay po natin. Ano po ang comment at opinion po ninyo? Hingil po dito sa mga isyong ito na pinag-usapan po natin. So comment below na lamang po kung ano po ang masasabi at komento po ninyo. Hingil po sa mga issue po na ito.